some stories making headlines in and around the East African region of our continent. And as always, on a Tuesday, we say good morning to Beru, journalist and team leader at Grassroot Journalism Kenya. How are you on this particular Tuesday, Dennis?
Good morning, Asanda. I am fine. I hope you are fine as well.
Well, thank you very much. We start with your home country, a tragic one coming from there today in our East Africa rep. There was a helicopter crash on Saturday. It killed 6 people, among them the pilot as well as a member of parliament. The President William Ruto having sent his condolences to those who lost their lives and has named who the member of parliament is. But we understand that the others are not known. The other victims of this crash. What do we know about the cause at this stage?
Thank you so much, Asanda. And the tragic, incident that happened on Saturday that killed the member of parliament for the Emurua decree, Joanna Ngong Angeno, and 5 others. And the cause of the crash is said to be caused by bad weather. Remember, Asanda, there's a lot of rain in Kenya currently, and it is said that the pilot lacked visibility in Nandi forest, and that led to the helicopter crashing and killing the 6 occupants on the spot. It is also alleged that there were some issues with the helicopter because the pilot tried to do emergency landing, but he was unable to do that, and that led to the crash. But as of now, we have managed to get the names of the other 5 occupants. Of course, the pilot is among those who perished. We also have a teacher by the name Carlos Keter. Is a photographer, Nixon Korir, also died on the spot. The names of the other 2 occupants are yet to be identified.
In terms of the other, you say the other people are still yet to be identified. But in terms of safety and airline safety in Kenya, has that been under the spotlight? Is that something that could be deemed as a challenge in the country?
Of course, yes, Asanda. This is not the first time we are having aviation-related incidences. I remember last year we had a chopper crashing in a part of Kwale, that is the coastal region of Kenya. And we have had quite a number of incidences when it comes to aerial accidents. And remember, Asanda, this is not the first time we are losing a member of parliament in plane crashes or helicopter crashes. Some years back, we lost up to a 9 member of parliament who are traveling in an aeroplane in the northern part of Kenya. And it is sad that the region where the member of parliament comes from, we have lost 2 member of parliament in a similar aviation or plane crashes recently. But we are yet to receive any information from Kenya Aviation Authority in regards to what happened to the helicopter, and analysis is going on, and investigations are underway to actually tell Kenyans what really caused these helicopter to crash.
Yeah. Let's go to Burundi now. 4,000 Burundians have left Tanzania, where they were refugees. They're returning to their home country. And the UN is the one that is spearheading this repatriation. They're calling it a voluntary repatriation, stressing that it is important that the Burundians who do decide to go back home to Burundi do so voluntarily, but that also the movement of Burundians is one that is safe and one where the dignity of Burundians is upheld. So those Burundians who are still left in Tanzania, what is the humanitarian situation like there?
Yes, Sandra, remember this is a voluntary repatriation that is being organized by the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, the UNHCR. And the returnees have been living in refugee camps in Tanzania after fleeing political instability and security in Burundi in previous years. And according to the UNHCR, they said the operation was conducted in coordination with the government of both countries to ensure that the returnee or the returns were voluntary, safe, and dignified. The officials say the repatriation forms part of the ongoing effort to support durable solution for the displaced Burundians, many of whom have spent years in exile. Reception arrangements have been put in place to assist the returnees with the documentation, basic supplies, and reintegration support upon arrival. And this is just a fraction of the Burundians refugees are living in Tanzania. And according to the UNHCR, there are still quite a number of Burundi refugees who are still in Tanzania, and they feel that it is not yet time to return to their home country. And despite the returns, of course, thousands of Burundians, they are still in Tanzanian camps and their neighboring states. And the humanitarian agencies continue to monitor the conditions inside Burundi to assess whether the circumstances are conducive for further voluntary repatriation. So, Asanda, we are looking to see whether the UNHCR will be able to convince, after doing the assessment, convince other refugees from Tanzania to repatriate back to their country. And UNHCR has reinstated the returns must be based on an informed choice with the guarantee of safety and access to the basics services for those not opting to go back, or for those opting to go back to their country, Burundi.
All right, and then lastly, and briefly, we've just got a minute on this one. Malawi has decided to drop charges against the corruption charges against some top officials. They're implicated as a Reserve Bank governor, his deputy, a minister of finance, and even a secretary of treasury. Why are these charges being dropped of corruption against these very top positioned people? It's about 10 of them.
Yes, the two cases, which together named the 10 accused, has been running for nearly 5 years and involve charges of abuse of office and breaches of procurement procedures at the center of Malawi's physical architecture. And the discontinuation came just months after Madanga was reinstated as the deputy governor of Reserve Bank, and Cliff Chiunda confirmed as the secretary of the treasury. And of course, this comes as Peter Mutharika, now the president of the party Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, won Malawi's September 2025 general election, defeating the incumbent Lazarus Chakwera of the MCP. Mutharika returned to presidency, ended the 5-year of MCP rule, under which most of the criminal proceedings had been filed and prosecuted. And Asanda, this is worrying because the named individuals were facing charges of corruption and misuse of office, and we are not yet clear because when the DPP cleared the the cases. There are a lot of conversation, and yesterday when I was going through the X conversation, there were a lot of conversation. When the president promised, the Malawians that he will be fighting corruption, we are now seeing the clearance and the cases are coming to an end without a clear conversation, or rather
It's quite concerning
indication of
there,
what.
Dennis. We're going to have to leave it there. Unfortunately, we're completely out of time. We'll continue maybe some of these topics later in the week in more detail, and we'll catch up with you again on Tuesday.
Thank you so much, Asanda.
Thank you. That's Dennis Beru, journalist and team leader at Grassroot Journalism Kenya, giving us our East Africa wrap. Let's get our news headlines. Here's Jolani Tulongwepe.
SAB